Lisa Z here. I am out in my pumpkin patch, and guess what I am seeing all over my pumpkin patch? You guessed it, I'm seeing orange. And you know what orange means? That means it's pumpkin picking time. So why don't you join me in picking a few pumpkins? We are going to take some of these pumpkins to the farmer's market and try and sell some, because I know there are a lot of boys and girls just like you who would love to have one of these beautiful pumpkins. Let me pick one for you and show you what they look like up close. Yeah, I've got my clippers and I'm cutting the stem, and I tell you what, it's not an easy job because these stems are nice and thick. Look at that. One of the signs of a healthy pumpkin is to have a thick, hard handle or stem. So that's something you need to look for when you look for your pumpkin. Also, take a look at it. Look all around it. Make sure it doesn't have any soft places in it or holes. Because if there's a hole or a soft spot, that means it's going to rot and it's not going to last long. Another sign of a healthy pumpkin is if it's heavy. If you pick it up and it's very, very light, that's not a good pumpkin, and you might want to look for another one. One more thing to remember. If it is a light orange color, maybe even a yellow, don't get it. Look for a deep orange like this. A light yellow pumpkin means it's probably not healthy and it might not last very long. So those are just a few tips when you're picking your pumpkin this fall. And by the way, yesterday was the first day of fall. It made us think back to some wonderful, wonderful years. For the past over 20 years, we have opened up our farm to the public and invited folks to come in and pick their pumpkins out of the pumpkin patch and do a lot of the fun stuff that people like to do in the fall, like take hay wagon rides and watch pig races, shoot the corn cannon. We had a barrel train. Oh my goodness, so many fun things. But as you remember, we're retired now for the pumpkin business, and we just couldn't get pumpkins out of our blood. We decided just to plant a small row of pumpkins in our garden, and just from that one row of pumpkins, we have already picked half of a pickup load of pumpkins. We're going to come out this evening and pick the rest of them, but I thought we'd get a jump on it and pick just a few here this afternoon and set them beside the path so that you can be a part of picking pumpkins, a pumpkin picking time. So why don't I get busy and pick a few, and we'll see how far we get. I might let you know too that when I come out here to pick pumpkins, I come with the right outfit. I am not out here in my shorts and flip-flops because remember, we talked about how stickery the leaves are. The leaf stem has lots of little bristles on them, and the underside of the leaf does too. So I don't want that rubbing against my legs, so I wear jeans and my socks and Crocs to protect myself from those stickers. Quite a pile here, don't we? How many pumpkins do you suppose is in this pile? Take a guess. I just counted them and there are 25 pumpkins already, and this isn't even all of them. We have just begun, so we've still got our work cut out for us, but I'm going to leave the heavy big ones for later, and I'm going to get just a glimpse on the other side of the row to see what the mini pumpkins are looking like. Remember, mini is short for miniature, and miniature means small. So a mini pumpkin is a small pumpkin that usually you could hold in your hand. So let's take a look at those and see how they're getting along. Oh guys, I was on my way to see the mini pumpkins and I thought I'd stop right here. Look at that group of 4 pumpkins down there. There's something unique about one of those pumpkins. Can you tell what it is? Do you see that one on the right in the front? That is a twin pumpkin. I don't often find twins in my pumpkin patch, but today I have found one. Let's pick it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Whoa, looky there. Looky there. You see it has 2 distinct circles. And if you look closely at the stem in the back, you can see that the stems have joined together. 2 stems joined together somewhere in the growing process to form one stem. And so we have a set of twins. How cool is that? Looky there. Now we're at the other end of the row where the mini pumpkins are growing. Looky there. There's some white ones. And there's some orange ones peeking out from underneath those leaves. And if we go a little further, oh wow, look at all the orange ones. I love orange ones. These orange ones are called pumpkin bumpkins. There's different kinds of pumpkins. Those little minis that are orange are pumpkin bumpkins. And looky there! Those are white with orange stripes. Aren't those sweet? I call those Mr. Stripes, although that's really not the technical word for their kind. But they look like Mr. Stripes to me. How about to you? Yeah. Oh, how fun, fun, fun. I love the little ones. I found me a bucket to sit on because I was getting a little bit tired of picking pumpkins. I thought I'd just show you some of these mini pumpkins up close. There's Mr. Stripes. Isn't that cool? Beautiful. And here's the pumpkin bumpkin, the little orange mini. Isn't that beautiful? And the white ones, let me pick one of those. There's one right by my foot. Looky there. That is a Casparita pumpkin. Isn't that beautiful? There. Casparita. This is one of my favorite pumpkins. You know, sitting here looking at all these mini pumpkins or little miniature pumpkins reminds me of all the fun times we had on the farm at our pumpkin patch. And I want to show you my book that I wrote about a little mini pumpkin named Rigby. Looky there. Wrote this book a couple of years ago, and this is basically our story of the pumpkin patch years, told through the eyes of a little mini pumpkin named Rigby. There's Rigby with the big smile, and Rigby learned that even though he didn't get picked right away, he was patient and waited in the pumpkin patch among the leaves until the very end of the season he got picked, and he was able to make a huge difference in the life of someone who needed him. And I hope that we can learn from Rigby's example to look for ways that we can make a difference in people's lives all around us today. Even though we're young, we can still encourage others, make somebody smile, give them an encouraging word, maybe help them do a chore, something to make a difference in their life. And we're never too young to make a difference for good in somebody else's life. Hey, if you'd like to get a copy of my book, Rigby Makes a Difference, head on over to my website, hickorycreekfarms.com, and you can order a signed copy just for you there on my website, and I'll mail that out to you. Guys, look, I found another set of twins! Cool, cool, cool! Looky there! Only this time, these are mini pumpkins. Mr. Stripes! Look how the stems grew together. And the pumpkins grew together to form one set of twins. How cool is that? Sweet! Now you might wonder, why do I get so excited about twins? You remember from a former video that I did that I am a twin! And tomorrow, I'm really excited because my twin, Lois, is coming to see me. Would you like to meet her? I thought I might give this set of twins to her and surprise her with a present. So we'll see if she likes my twin pumpkins, because I sure do like her. You know, even though it's pumpkin picking time and most of my pumpkins are ripe, not all of them are. In fact, I thought this might be a good chance to tell you and show you right here in my pumpkin patch how a pumpkin grows. I covered a little bit of this in my last video, but let's go over it again. Remember that when you plant a pumpkin seed, the first thing you see are green leaves that sprout or pop their heads up above the soil. And those leaves can be very, very big. Isn't that a big leaf? That's one pumpkin leaf. How cool is that? And after they get green leaves on the plant, they get flowers, beautiful yellow flowers. Now the flowers have already closed up for the day. They usually close up in the middle of the afternoon when it gets really, really hot outside. And if they weren't closed, you would see that there are two different kinds of flowers on my pumpkin plant. One of them is a male bloom. Remember, you can see inside the bloom to tell if it's a male or a female. That is a male bloom. It has one tall thing sticking up in the center. The female bloom has a cluster of those tall things sticking up in the middle. Ooh, this one's all black. All those yellow things are black, those tall things, because it's starting to rot. Remember that only the female pumpkin bloom can produce a pumpkin. And the bloom comes on the plant with a little orange ball underneath the female plant. That ball, which is the pumpkin, cannot grow unless some pollen gets from the middle of the male bloom into the middle of the female bloom. And the bees are what help us pollinate that female bloom. They'll crawl around on the inside of a male bloom, and some of that yellow sticky pollen on the tall thing sticking up will stick to its legs. Gets tired of that bloom, so the bee will go and land in the middle of a female bloom. And he doesn't even know it, but some of that sticky yellow pollen drops off into the middle of that female bloom and causes that baby pumpkin to start to grow. And you don't need, once it's pollinated and that baby starts to grow, you don't need that bloom anymore. So eventually it just dies, the bloom does, and it just falls off. But the baby pumpkin continues to grow. And it gets bigger until it looks like this. Isn't that cool? What color is it? Yep, it's green. And something else about my babies, they're soft. They're very soft when they're young pumpkins. And they're very susceptible to hot days. They can rot easily. Or bugs. And so if you can get them a little bit bigger until they start to get hard, that's a really, really good thing. It continues to grow in my pumpkin patch until it looks like this. Looky there. It's still green, but it's a dark green, isn't it? And there's a change. It's not soft anymore. It's getting hard. But is it ripe yet? No, it's not orange yet, is it? But if you take a look at the back, looky here. What's going on where it was laying on the ground? It's starting to turn orange! Yeah, so you know it's not going to be long before it's a grown-up pumpkin. Do you want to see what a grown-up pumpkin looks like? Well, you remember we had a whole pile of them here. Oh, there you go. Pretty, huh? That's a grown-up pumpkin when it's all the way orange. Now, does a pumpkin have to be big in order to be a grown-up? Nope. Remember those mini pumpkins like Rigby? So small you can hold it in your hand, but it's not a baby. It's a grown-up pumpkin. It's hard like a pumpkin. It's gone the right amount of days for it to ripen, and it's not going to get bigger no matter how long you leave it out here. The difference is you planted a different seed, and that seed tells the pumpkin, hey, I want you to be big when you grow up. So it's like this. If you want big pumpkins when it grows up, you plant the seeds out of this one. So if you want to grow a little pumpkin like Rigby, you would take the seeds out of this pumpkin, that's the type it is, and you would plant those seeds next year. Now you're not going to want to go out there and plant seeds out of these pumpkins today, because after we get done with the season of fall, guess what's coming next? Winter! And if you planted these seeds today, when winter comes and that thermometer drops below 32 degrees, guess what's going to happen to your pumpkin plant from these seeds? They're going to go, oh, it's so cold out here. I can't take it. And I think I'm going to die. And they would die. They would freeze to death. So you've got to take your seeds out of the middle of your pumpkins, wash them up real good, and lay them on a plate until they dry really, really good. And then you stick them in an envelope, put them in your dresser drawer, and save them till next, about the time you get out of school. Maybe the end of May, the beginning of June. And then you plant your seeds from these pumpkins, and you just might grow yourself your very own pumpkin for next year. Wouldn't that be fun? Great. I've got to get busy picking some more pumpkins. So I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have a terrific fall, y'all. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, guys.